Hello, teachers, librarians, parents, and students. Today I have a little bit more beard, and it is time for Chapter 12. I've been so focused on practicing for my second lesson with Pete that I almost forgot how I was planning to pay for them. But Saturday, the best day of the week, comes along, and my mom takes Brian to a Little League game, and my dad goes to work, leaving me alone home. Home alone. Ooh, I must be tired. Leaving me home alone with the lawnmower. Kirsten calls, asking me to hang out with her and a couple other girls, but I tell her I'm busy. I don't really want to hang out with people I don't know anyway, not when there's so much work to be done. The lawnmower is already full of gas, so I start my day fast. I mow lawns like a ninja. Time is against me. Every second counts, and every lawn is a strategy waiting to be put into action. Should I cut it in this order? Can I save a minute or two cutting it this way? Perhaps I should mow the large backyard first when my stamina is highest. It feels good at first, but by the third house, I'm exhausted. One lawn is tough. A bunch of lawns is brutal. The sun becomes my mortal enemy, and I begin to hate it. I mock its placement in the sky and the way it casts heat down over the protective shadows of the trees. I start to hate noon and look forward to the later afternoon hours when the sun will no longer beat down on me from the center of the sky. My baseball cap protects my face at first, but eventually it just makes my head hot, causing sweat to pour out the sides and onto my brow. By the end of the third lawn, I am offered a glass of lemonade by the old woman who is only paying me $3. I tell her thank you and gulp down the entire glass in seconds. "There really is no rush," she says. "I was going to suggest you take a break and enjoy it." "No time," I say, gasping for breath. "I've got a full schedule." She gives me a worried look as I move on to my next customer. By the time their lawn is done, I have given a new name to the sun. From this day forward, it will forever be known as the Orb of Death. I imagine the Orb of Death laughing at me, an evil grin screaming down as I tire out with each trimmed row of grass. I invent a rhythm in my head and give it a melody, something about how I hope a bunch of asteroids take a big chomp out of its side. Yes, I know the Orb of Death is much larger than any asteroid will ever be, but that doesn't make it any less satisfying to imagine. It takes a while, but I finally get to the last lawn. It's both the best and worst of the entire day. When I'm halfway through it, a woman from next door calls me over to the edge of the gate between the houses and asks if I'd like to mow her lawn as well. And because I am either stupid or a glutton for punishment, I say yes. I come home and leap into the shower. It's the best one I've ever had. I feel like I'm washing away a week's worth of body odor. I get dressed in a comfy pair of shorts and a shirt. Then I collapse on my bed. The longer it is before I have to move, the better. My skeletal system feels like it's falling apart, but I couldn't be happier. I feel in control. I am making a decision, a choice I can't possibly see myself regretting. For now, that's enough to make me feel good, even if my head hurts and aches, and pains are throbbing through my arms and legs. I lie on the couch until Brian and my mom get home. Brian runs down to the basement to do who knows what, and my mom sees me on the couch and says, "You look exhausted. What have you been doing all day?" "Nothing." My arms tickle as the lies leave my mouth. "I hung out with Kristen." "I haven't seen her around recently. I'm glad to hear you're still friends." Mom leaves the room and goes about her late afternoon routines. By the time Dad gets home from work, it's clear that no one has a clue what I've been up to. I breathe a sigh of relief, thankful that my routine is going to work. Monday comes I must be tired. Monday comes along with a new rush of excitement. I hurry home from school, the same as last week. I grab $15 out of a rolled up sock in my top drawer, get my sticks, and run as fast as I can to Pete's. He's waiting for me in his living room when I arrive. He looks at his watch and says, 3:32. I said, don't be late. It's only 2 minutes, I say. This week it's only 2 minutes. Next week it'll be 3 minutes and 4 minutes the week after that. I said don't be late and I meant it. Do I make myself clear? I nod, apologize, and pull the $15 out of my pocket. He takes it from me, holds it between his fingers, and says, "You paid to be here today, Every minute counts. We head down into the basement and begin our second lesson, just like the first. Snare and more snare. We start out with a single stroke roll. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. He corrects me on the same things. Keep the sticks in the first knuckle. Relax. Only move your wrists. He tells me to stop playing. Then he stands up, walks over to me, and points at 3 dents in the snare drum. 3 out of what look like hundreds. You just made those, he says. Those dents? I say. He nods. I cower a little as my hair stands on edge. Did I just damage Pete's drum set? Calm down, he says. I'm not pointing it out to get you in trouble. That's the point of this set. It's here to take any and all damage a beginner can dish out. I just want you to understand that we're not stabbing an enemy or blackjacking someone. We're playing the snare drum. He sits back down by his set and tells me to continue. I shake my arms, loosening the muscles, and try to imagine myself floating. When I start playing again, the snare hits are smoother and more even. Pete smiles and gives me a light, sarcastic applause. Much better. Then he throws me a curveball. I want you to play singles as slowly as you can, he says. I do it. It's harder than you might think. The longer between each swing of the stick means the longer you have to screw up your grip. But I do get it down, and my grip feels better afterward. Now speed up just a little bit, he says. I speed up. I didn't ask you to floor it, Sam. Take it easy. I slow down. He watches for about 5 minutes, then says, all right, you got it. Speed it up again. Just a little bit this time. I speed up. Then he tells me to speed up again. And again. Before long, I'm playing faster than I ever have before, but my arms are about to fall off. Little by little, the movement travels from my wrist to the rest of my arms and up to my shoulders. Are you tense? He shouts over my lightning-fast singles. Yes! I shout back. Slow it down until you're relaxed. I slow down. My body relaxes a little, but pain and numbness stay in my forearms. I almost want to hug him when he finally says, stop! My arms throb the second they stop moving, and the fatigue hits me all the way through my shoulders and into my neck. Oh, I need to build up my upper body strength, I say. No, he says, waving his arms in the air. You think drumming is all about power? Do I look like a bodybuilder to you? I'm not sure how to answer. Will I insult him if I tell him he looks like a pencil with arms and legs? Buddy Rich has the thinnest arms you'll ever see, he says. Who's Buddy Rich? I ask. His face turns red, like he just choked on a zucchini. For someone who's always telling me to relax, he sure looks like he's going to blow a gasket. You don't know Buddy Rich, he says. Why did you storm into my house angry about jazz band getting canceled next year if you've never even heard a real jazz drummer play? So he's a jazz drummer? I ask. He was a jazz drummer, the jazz drummer. He had tiny little arms like toothpicks because he never used his muscles or lack thereof to play fast. Can I borrow some of his music or something? Do your parents have a record player? Whoa, talk about old school. Definitely not. Then you won't be able to listen to my collection. Head over to the library. The school library? Oh, no, the public library. You can check out Buddy Rich's music on CD there. Totally free as long as you bring them back on time. You do know what CDs are. I'm not that dumb. You're not dumb at all. You're just young. That's why I don't want you going online. No torrenting. You're not going to get me in trouble with your parents or anyone else, and most of his stuff is mislabeled by internet idiots anyway. Torrenting Buddy Rich will probably get you Tina Turner. Who's Tina Turner? He shakes his head. Just forget it. Your homework before next lesson is to listen to 2 real jazz albums. One can be Buddy Rich, and the other can be whatever you want, as long as it's jazz. Who else would you recommend? I ask. Besides Buddy Rich. I'd recommend you find someone on your own. You're not afraid of jazz, are you? I think of how much I wanted to be in jazz band next year and say, of course not. Good. Then head over to the library and find a jazz album that speaks to you. If you can play jazz, you can play anything. Trust me. And if, by some stroke of luck, you discover an artist you've never heard before, it's a win-win situation. Pete gestures to the stairs leading out of his basement. I expect you to be 2 jazz albums older when you show up next Monday. I walk up the basement stairs and leave Pete's house, thinking about how to make it to the library, wondering how I'm going to explain a sudden taste in jazz to my parents. All the while, another part of me wonders if my parents will notice or even care about anything related to music. I wonder if it would be worth being busted, just so my parents could learn what really matters to me. Another voicemail from Dr. Pullman is waiting when I get home. This one scares me more than the others. I had assumed the end of my lunch detentions meant the end of his phone calls. Another press of the number 9 on the keypad. Another computer voice telling me, your message has been deleted. Only it wasn't my message. Even I know that. And that's the end of Chapter 12. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with Chapter 13.